Gonna push all the buttons. Good morning, everybody. It's time. It's 7 o'clock. Hope you got your coffee. It's time for Exploring Scripture, episode number 23. We're gonna talk about advice. So I wanted to show you something this morning. Let's see if I can make it work. Something I found on the interwebs. How awesome was that? That was home free. One of my late mother's favorite songs, and it just sort of chokes me up every time I hear it. And I was sitting on the couch this morning with my son. He's 7. We were watching videos, and we watched that together, and we both had a good cry. It was really cathartic, but it was good. Anyway, that's not what today's show's about, but I just wanted to share that with you because it's just it's an inspiring song, right? We think about how awesome God is. Today, let's talk about advice. Now, I can tell what you're thinking. I don't like it when people stick their nose in my business. Thank you very much. I'm fine the way I am, and I don't need meddlers in my affairs. Right? Well, you're missing something there if you think that's the best way to go. None of us are experts in everything, and all of us need help from time to time. So remember yesterday's talk about pride. If you've forgotten, it's episode 22. Go back and have a look. The opposite of pride, if you recall, is humility. And with humility comes the recognition that we need some advice from time to time. And I've found in my life that advice is actually needed more often than just time to time. It's needed pretty darn frequently. So let's talk about it a little bit. Now, there are loads of proverbs about advice. Not just in the book of Proverbs, mind you, but all over the Bible. And we've seen this before, what I'm about to show you in our tool of choice, Logos, called the Proverbs Explorer. There are a couple of proverbs that immediately jump to my mind, but there are a whole list of them in the Explorer. So why don't we jump on over and have a look. These are notes from yesterday. Let me move this just a little bit. Oops, sorry for the noise. I'll move this a little bit closer to my face so you can hear me clearly. So let's look at a tool called the Proverbs Explorer. And we are going to look down here at the type called advice. And you can see there are 133 proverbs. Is this all just in the book of Proverbs? Let me just quickly scan down. Oh, I turned off my camera. Sorry about that, guys. Let me turn my camera back on and transition. There we go. Now maybe you can see me. I turned it off for the YouTube video and naturally forgot to turn it back on. Anyway, thanks for pointing that out, Em. Not that, my visage is critical to this whole thing, but there are other books in here. Ecclesiastes, some other books I don't recognize, probably from a different version of the Bible. Is that the Book of Wisdom? I don't recognize that book. So what is that? Is it going to hover? No, it's not going to hover. There are some books here that are not included in the NIV, which is the book that the translation of the Bible that I prefer. There's Proverbs in the Gospels. There's Corinthians. Anyway, I digress. Here's one I particularly wanted to share with you. Let's see if I can pull it up. Terry says it's in the Catholic Bible. Yeah, there are some some books in the Catholic Bible that don't exist in the NIV. So let me quickly just close that tab. I want to do a search, and I want to do all Bible, entire Bible in the NIV for something called plans succeed. Excuse me. Plans fail for. Now, what do you think that's going to come up with? What do you think? Pretty clear. Proverbs 15:22. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. Okay, so if we want to be successful at our whatever endeavor, like this show, for example, which is, by the way, I am super grateful to Mike Callahan, a very old friend. Not that he's old, but we go back a long way, don't we, Mike? Way back to the late 80s, stretching into the 90s. We went to high school together. He's got a show called The Watchman News, and he's syndicating this not only on his YouTube channel, but on his Facebook page as well. So thanks for that, Mike. I understand we got lots of views on yesterday's Pride, but I would love to hear the comments to go along with that. So if you are watching this on one of Mike's channels, please shoot me a note. You can either tweet me at Disciples Life TV, or if you want to be a little more anonymous, feedback at discipleslife.tv. I'd like to hear what you think. Okay, anyway, so back to the point, plans fail for lack of counsel. So as I was building this show, I sought lots of advice because guess what? I've never built a YouTube channel before. So I needed to do lots of research and seek lots of advice, not only about what to cover, but how to cover it in a way that is edifying. And if you don't know what that word means, it means where we gain a mutual benefit, where we all learn something. I learned something, you learned something, and we learn together. Not just as an authority, because I am certainly not an authority. I have not had any seminary training or anything like that, but I am a disciple, and I read my Bible every day, and so should you. So in theory, you should be an authority because you should know the scriptures, and so should we all. So anyway, had to get lots of advice because I didn't know how to do this. I didn't know the best way to do it, and I wanted to be successful. I wanted to reach you, you, the one I'm talking to right now, with the show that I wanted to put on. So this is a growing network. Right now it's one show, but we've got 6 planned. Getting lots of advice about those. Anyway, off topic once again. Let's go back to that Proverbs Explorer and look at some of the Proverbs that dug up. Let me make this bigger so everyone can see. What spot do I need to go to? Let's go maybe a little bit bigger. That might do it. Is that readable? That looks readable to me. If it's not, please somebody ping me in the chat room, which you can get to, by the way, at discipleslife.tv/chat. Mike says, I've always heard that God doesn't call a qualified, he qualifies the called. Very good. I like that, Mike. I may have to recycle that one. That's really good. Thank you for that. So here's the book of Proverbs, mostly by Solomon. He says, listen, my son, to your father's instruction, right here in this first one. And do not forsake your mother's teaching. They are a garland to grace your head and a chain to adorn your neck. My son, if sinful men, let me open that in the Bible. My son, here in verse 10, if sinful men entice you, do not give in to them if they say blah, 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 etc., etc. Let's scroll down. There were a few that
I bear with it, folks. Yikes. Let me see what's going on here. I'm in their chat as well. So just bear with us. I think somebody that's in the same household as Scott has lost connection too, but I have seen her rejoin their chat room over there. So I would assume that it's probably just a hiccup, and just bear with us here. As you guys well know, this stuff happens. Right on, Aaron. I don't know if he's going to be coming back up under this one or if he's going to have to real quick restart. I don't know the systems that he works with. I don't know his broadcasting software, and I definitely don't know the Restream.io he uses. I have assumed, I have a feeling though. Yep. I think he's back. Let me nab this. If my page will load. One moment. And we're back live.
Okay, bear with me, folks. We just had a network interruption, so let me we'll get reconnected. Okay, all right. So we're getting back in the chat room. I am reloading. I finished that stream because that died. Oh, Terry, you see me now? Have we reconnected everywhere? Because it looks like the YouTube thing stopped, and I just stopped the Facebook stream. So, all right, bear with me. I got to reset everything. YouTube appears to be live again. Let me grab that video, my channel. Okay, here we go, live, and grab that link. And I will embed that. Okay, Mike, you can see me. Mike Terry, where do you see me? I don't know where the video is coming. Yeah, Satan has internet jamming skills. That's right. Can you tell me where you see me? Because I don't know where that could be. I stopped the video. You see me? Okay, let me just. You see me on YouTube. Okay, so that's why. Okay, so I'm on YouTube, that I know, but I do need to put myself back on the website, so bear with me, folks. I'm working it as quickly as I can possibly work it. And we will edit this box and put the new link in. Mike, could you let me know if I'm still up on your other networks, please? And I will get back on Facebook, which is going to be where? Here, start a new video. And my link. Come on, work with me here, please. On YouTube and Facebook, we lost connection with me. Okay, great. Okay. All right. Now I've got to get... I'm just about there, folks. Just about there. I'm just waiting for Facebook to come alive. And then we will continue and carry on as if nothing ever happened. Let's see if we can get live on the page. Reloading. And pressing play. Nope, that's the old one. I gotta get rid of the cache. There's a lot that happens behind the scenes, folks, just to make this work. And then when something happens to the network, boy, it just takes a minute to get everything spinning again. So we are cleaning up our mess. When things explode, it takes a moment. Here's 23. This looks correct. Yep, that's the right one on the page. Is Facebook... No, Facebook is just not willing to play ball. Why? Well, we're going to miss it on Facebook. We got to carry on. We don't have time to deal with all this stuff. So, to my Facebook fans, I apologize for the delay. Well, let's just move on, okay? We're live on the site, which is good. We're live on Mike's stuff, which is good. So, now I just have to remember where I was. Let me take a sip of coffee and think about it. Okay. Think Satan had a little influence there, maybe perhaps in the form of a little set of fingers that may have unplugged something somewhere along the way. But anyway, we're back and we are going to continue. So, blessed are those. We're back in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 13. Blessed are those who find wisdom, those who gain understanding, for she is more profitable than silver and yields better returns than gold. She is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her. And it continues and continues and continues. Now, so there's plenty of Proverbs. If we go back, we look. You saw the list, right? There are loads of Proverbs and sayings about getting advice. So why are we so reluctant to get advice? Well, Here's a caution. Let me look at this. Are we in the NIV? Yes. Lean on, is it your own understanding? Is it your or no? Okay, let me do a fuzzy search then, because I clearly can't remember. Where's my fuzzy search? Should have been right there. Okay, somebody help me out. Lean not on your own understanding. Own understanding. Self-reliance equals pride. That's right. Understanding. Let me just confine this to the Bible here. Top Bibles. Oh my goodness, it's just not working for me today. It's just not coming together. Anyway, let me just say, if you'll indulge me, Proverbs 3:5. Let's take a look. Maybe that's it. Is that it, Emily? I hope you're right. Let's see. Let's open a Bible here. Let's open NIV. Proverbs 3:5. There it is. There it is. Thank you, Em, to the rescue. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Well, that's peculiar because that's what I searched for. Your own understanding, right? I don't know. I didn't find it. I think Satan is really trying to prevent you from hearing what I'm trying to say. He doesn't want you to be successful. He doesn't want me to be successful. He doesn't want us to do anything well. He wants us to fail and be miserable. And now that we have 7 minutes for me to complete my thesis, we're going to do this as quickly as we can because your time is precious and so is everyone else's. So what's the downside if we don't seek advice? Well, the obvious downside is we are not as successful as we could be, or we may just fail. So think about that. when you realize you are not an expert at something, and by the way, let's just take doctors, for example. They tend to be very well versed. Not all of them, maybe you could argue, but the lion's share of them. They spend a lot of time in school, and they spend a lot of time in. Emily says, "I love verse 7. Do not be wise in your own eyes." Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Em. Doctors tend to know a lot more about medicine than I certainly do, and so that's why I go see them. But if you've ever noticed, sometimes one doctor will call up another for a consult, or they'll call a specialist. Well, why is it okay for doctors, but not okay for us? Think about that one. Okay, so here we go. The cost of not seeking advice is failure. We don't want to fail, but I don't want to get advice because my pride gets in the way. Revisit yesterday's episode about pride. See what the Bible has to say about that. It takes some humility to recognize that you need some advice, doesn't it? Yeah. So yesterday's pride episode and today's advice episode kind of fit together, don't they? Gotta be humble enough to accept advice, especially unsolicited advice. That's the kind that we hate the most. When you sit somebody down, or you sit me down, and you say, "Scott, I don't like the way you weren't prepared for an internet outage. You should have known better. You should have a redundant connection." Well, that's unsolicited advice. Would have been good advice to have a redundant connection, but generally our network stays up. So go figure. It doesn't happen very often that it fails, but that's the way it is. So, but we don't like unsolicited advice because that sounds like, brace yourself, it sounds like judging, doesn't it? Well, we've covered that too. Go back and have a look in the archives. It's there. We don't want to be judgmental, but we have to make an assessment that somebody could use a little encouragement or a little more advice in a particular area to be as successful as they can be, right? So here's one proverb that I think I'll close with. Let me set the stage for you. So we know that we need to be humble in order to accept advice, but we need to be even more humble to accept unsolicited advice. But God even directly addresses unsolicited advice and how some people react to it. This is one of my favorite proverbs, and when I saw it, I nearly fell off my chair because it is, I'll caution you, very pointed. It's a pretty sharp proverb. So I'll leave you with this. We're going to shut her down a little bit early today. That's okay. It happens. Sometimes we go long, sometimes we're short. Let me show you this proverb, and we'll call it good for today. Proverbs 12:1. Are you ready? Don't say I didn't warn you. Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction is stupid. Well, God said, you don't like that unsolicited advice? Especially if it's good advice. I mean, there is bad advice, right? But assuming for a moment that it's good advice, but if it ruffles your feathers, well, guess what God says about that? I can't put it any plainer than that, right? You either love knowledge and discipline and correction and go after it so that you can be the very best you can be. Seek that advice, swallow the pride, be humble, or guess what? Right over here, but whoever hates correction is stupid. Is that you? It used to be me. I don't want to be that guy anymore. I don't want God to look at me and say stupid. Now, let me just define the word stupid. We consider it an insult. Man, I think in this case it may be meant to be an insult. Stupid means you're unable to learn. Like this computer right here that I'm looking at, watching everybody giving me feedback and the proverbs that I'm looking for. This computer is stupid. It cannot learn. Although some people say, "Oh, it's artificial intelligence," but that telephone on my desk, it can't learn. My coffee cup that I so cherish every morning, it can't learn. It's stupid. I am an intelligent being to some level, and so are you. So that makes us not stupid. We are capable of learning. We're capable, but are we willing? Are we humble enough to hear things about ourselves that we don't like and change? That's the challenge. With that, I will leave you and hope you have a great day. I hope that this little internet connection did not distract you too terribly from the point. Don't be stupid. Be wise. Be humble. Get that advice. Love y'all. Have a great day. Don't forget to pray. Bye-bye.